Hi guys, welcome to Just Another WoW Show, where we provide you information and news about World of Warcraft, our favorite game. Now, this is our second episode. And with me I have Trevor.
Hey guys, what's up?
Longtime friend, longtime gaming buddy. And this week, there's a huge drop this week. First, if you guys have any information or any questions, go ahead and email us at JustAnotherWoWShow@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitch, which we are still working on getting up.
Some bugs. Lots of bugs. Still working it out.
Pest control.
Yeah.
Squishy. We need... we'll get that straightened out, but for the time being, if you want to go subscribe, and then you'll know when we're up, you can find us at its_Jaws. And that's twitch.tv, its_Jaws. And so
YouTube. We're also on YouTube.
We're on YouTube as well.
Probably you guys are viewing us right now, obviously.
It's
just another WoW show.
Yeah.
No spaces. It's kind of easy. You'll find us. We're the two idiots talking into microphones.
So, Trevor, do you want to lead off this week? What do you want to do first? Do you want to take viewer questions, or do you have any viewer questions this week? Anything worth mentioning?
I didn't have viewer questions. I had friend questions from in-game.
Okay.
And none of them really caught my eye. A few of them did, and actually one of them was and obviously we're gonna get to it. This is a big week, but one of them was, dude, did you see all the changes they just made? And at first I was like, what are you talking about?
Who didn't?
What are you talking about? And I didn't know. I think it was like a day or two after, and then it was like 10 o'clock at night. I'm laying in bed. I look it up, and I'm like, whoa, look at all this. And, it was just...
That's what you look up before you go to bed?
Yeah, of course.
What else?
Duh. World of Warcraft.
What was the internet created for?
God. I never do anything else. But, yeah, it was just, have you seen this? And so right away, I jump on MMOChampion, kind of my source, and pretty much yours too, I think.
Yeah.
For the most part, for all the latest and greatest WoW news. Mm-hmm. And thought, oh my god, this is a lot of stuff.
There's a lot. Like, a lot of people will just skip over the first section and go straight to their class changes.
That's what I did at first.
I don't recommend that, though. Because they really, like, break it out. Like, okay, hey, guys, we're doing a huge stat squish, and that's going to affect everything you see below. The fact that they have sections for, like, this is what we're changing with hit, right, and this is how it affects your class.
Well, I think they did that mostly because... Well, I mean, you saw, like, on each little section, there was a breakdown in this. You know, it said, hey, we noticed this, and this is why we're doing this, and this is what it looks like. So it wasn't like your typical patch notes. It was like, hey, here's a problem, red flag, and then this is what it looks like on the patch notes. Yeah. And I think I saw up earlier today, before all this amazing artwork popped up.
Yes. Yeah, there's some great... Go to MMO-champion.com. Check out some of the artwork. There's remakes of mounts that we're used to from Burning Crusade, but redone because, I mean, shit hasn't blown up yet.
So much information.
I know. To get back to where, I mean, we saw this, I don't know even when
I was looking at it last night.
And now all this other stuff popped up.
There's just, oh my gosh.
All the glyph changes. That's actually something. You know what? No, stop.
Right, okay.
Ask you, what was your friend's question? What was your friend's question?
The first one, and it was actually, he asked me if I'd seen it, and I said no, so I went and I looked at it, and then I actually talked to him about it, and I asked him about the stat squish and what he thought about it, and he was kind of panicked about it, because I think a lot of people like the big I, of course, like big numbers. I like to run in, hit dudes, bam, big numbers, whoa, I feel powerful. Yeah. And I think, like me, other people see their big health pools and think, oh, I'm God mode. I'm a raid boss. You know, I've got a lot of health. I'm awesome. And I mean, we're getting to that point now where we are. But he's like, I don't think it'll be that great. You know, and so I asked him, well, even though just the numbers are getting scaled down, but you're still gonna, you know, it's a percentage based thing. And I think a lot of people don't understand what this stat squish is, and that's the most. I think I'm looking forward to that the most.
Here's my. This is how that I've gone about it. I'm a very positive person, and that's one thing to define. When you look at changes that Blizzard is coming out, are you a pessimist where you're like, oh, it's going to be the worst thing ever, they're ruining the game, or Are you looking at it like, you know what, they could make it better? I, for one, being a paladin, going from vanilla to Burning Crusade and then to Wrath of the Lich King, oh my god, dude, I went from being just poor DPS, like casting a seal, casting Judgment to release the seal, casting Seal again to bring it back up so that I could do damage, to Wrath of the Lich King, where everything was undead and I got an increase to damage and my rotation was fixed and I just started murdering everything. Well, I have a very positive outlook to what WoW will do to the game.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that on my way here, and I know we're getting off topic about how I hear a lot of people say, oh, Blizzard's ruining World of Warcraft. Oh, it sucks. All these, they got other good games out. I'm done with WoW, and this expansion's going to kill World of Warcraft. And I don't think so. Every time Blizzard has cranked out a new expansion, I've always been really into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they change stuff, but it's always been for the better. I mean, because you go back to vanilla, everybody's all nostalgic, and I want vanilla. I want to play that. Go back and play on a private server. Remember,
we don't recommend doing that. But
no. We
don't know anyone that has ever done that.
Yeah, I don't trust them. But I mean, if you want to, I guess they're out there and they're available. But
you know that if you ever play on a private server, they revoke. It's like you get banned from WoW, right?
I've never played on one.
I'm just saying we don't want to encourage people to go.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Well then don't do that. I didn't know that. That's new. I've never done it before. So I've always had a subscription. But back then, the fact that I was so naive about MMOs and RPGs in general, I'm a first-person shooter guy. I like to, and I make my warrior, and I'm like, yeah, man, I just want to hit stuff. Well, I picked out a stat on gear, and it was armor. Okay, so as long as it had more armor than what I had on, I put it on. I didn't know I'm supposed to wear plate, or mail or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't know I needed strength and stamina and crit. Dude, I had like intellect cloth on, and I had a wand because the wand was like, it was green and the sword I had was gray, and I was like, dude, I'm hitting people with this wand, ram, and it was 15. Wow, that was better than 5. I had no clue, and I did that until I was like 30 something. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, these quests are now giving me, oh, that's what I should have. This is blue. It's good, right? And if it was bind on a equipped, so you could sell it in the auction house, people would get an epic for the first time, and they'd be like, oh, that's 500 gold. That's my mount, And when it took you 5 years to get that, I'd pick up an epic, and I was like, oh, cool. What's this look like? And I'd put it on, and there's a loss of 500 gold. It was miserable. So I trust everything that Blizzard's doing, and I think that no matter how it turns out, I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I agree. Like I look at these stat changes and everything that's going on as a positive. So when we're talking about the stat squish and seeing the big numbers and stuff and the feel of WoW, in all honesty, when I'm DPSing, I don't really pay attention to the numbers anymore. Like
I stopped.
Because there's so many numbers coming across my screen. I just don't look at them. I mean, every now and then I like to see my crits. Like when I crit really hard, it's cool to see a huge number. But the one thing I'm noticing is that I don't care what kind of numbers I'm putting up. I just look at the DPS meters and go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm 5th, I'm 1st, I'm 2nd, I'm 3rd. I don't really care what the numbers I'm hitting for are.
Right.
And so this is the conclusion I came to with the whole stat squish. If it takes me 30 seconds to kill a Mogu, we'll say, it takes me 30 seconds to kill a Mogu right now. Mm-hmm. When the stat squish happens, if it still takes me 30 seconds to kill that Mogu, I don't care.
And it's going to.
Yeah.
And I think the best part now is they're making it where the progression of your power of your character is more linear and less spiky. Mm-hmm. When you go back to old content, you're actually going to get a buff when you go to solo something. So now if you struggle with it, regardless of what kind of class you are, you're going to go in and just be like, look at this, wham, okay, you're done. I mean, I think that kind of sucks on one hand, but on the other, I think it's pretty cool. So, next topic. What about you? Have you had any questions or comments, concerns from anybody?
there's one specifically. Again, coming from an optimist, I have a friend who's a little pessimistic when it comes to changes from WoW, and okay, so professions was like one topic that me and one of my friends got into, and it was all interpretation. Like the way that Blizzard said we're taking away all battle perks from professions. The way that I took it when I read that was battle perks. Okay, in combat perks. Things that happen in combat that's benefiting you. In my mind, that was proc chance weapons, or not weapons, but like for engineers, they have the on-use synapse glove.
The springs?
Yeah, the springs.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. Like, items that you pop or proc in combat. He took it as... For jewel crafters, they're taking away the fact that they can make bigger, better gems for themselves.
Well, it does. I think that's their point.
Really?
Yeah, and I think I read this actually on that big. It tells so jewel crafters can make that bigger epic gem, and if you get 2 of them, it gives you a bonus of I think 320 of one stat, and over what anybody else can make. Leather workers can put a buff on their wrist piece that's 320 more of whatever anybody else make. Enchanters with the rings, blacksmiths with an extra socket, engineers. I think the springs. I think that's their one extra.
I think the springs was what increased their damage.
Yeah, and it was always
also the what are those called? Sprockets.
The cogwheels.
Cogwheels.
But in order to do that, it had to be on a certain helm. You couldn't put it in.
And yeah, go ahead.
But and that's so that's the that's kind of what they're doing away with. Is what it says. I want to bring it up, but now there's like 19 pages extra more stuff on here.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, everyone, you guys can go ahead and go check it out. At MMO-champion.com, or even go to Blizzard's website, blizzard.com or World of Warcraft.com, and go through the patch notes there. But so professions, you said that you actually, because I saw the initial post, I haven't read anything about professions since then.
Right.
And the initial post, all it said was they were removing battle proc or battle benefits of professions.
Right.
Or combat benefits and professions, and I agreed with that. Like I was like, I don't really want it to change, but at the same time, if everyone's just getting the benefit, like how you're talking about, everyone gets 320 bonus to whatever they have.
Yeah,
it doesn't really add anything to the game. Now, here's a question for you: how would you fix professions right now? How would you fix? Let's just start with blacksmithing. Well, let's first define what's the problem with blacksmithing. What do you think the problem is?
I think the problem with all the professions is kind of how they've become. They've become a stat bonus. Whereas blacksmithing, in my mind, how it used to be was you made your own gear and your own weapons. Tailoring, you made your own gear. Engineering was more like a fun thing. It was less of, you wanted to have fun. You wanted to like jump off a mountain and fly or rocket. Oh, dude, I started a rocket wheeling on my hunter, and I'm out of there. I could run across the map in 2 seconds. I think they need to go back to that. I think they need to go back to the leather workers. They need to make leather and mail armor.
Cats.
Yeah, cats. Freaking cats.
Dogs, actually.
Whatever they are. But yeah, I think they need to go back and they had specializations. Remember that?
Armor smithing, weapon smithing.
Right. And what fits what you want. Do you have a problem with making weapons? Are you a class that's really reliant on your weapon damage? Well, be a blacksmith and make weapons.
Okay, so how would we fix that?
Just go back to that. The only reason people make blacksmiths now is so they can get that extra socket, and the only reason people do enchanting is so they get those extra enchants. I'm on the forums on World of Warcraft, and they say, people are asked, oh, I'm a fresh level 90 warrior, what are good professions? Or people ask, hey, I'm a boost this character, what are the best professions? And
so let me argue this point for you. You can still currently make great armor for yourself by getting the plans for, like, currently they're what, 5...
But you have to raid.
Yeah.
So, and it didn't used to be that way. You used to have to farm mats, like a lot of mats, but you didn't have to raid to get it. Now, in order to get the stuff you get is really at the same kind of tier of like normal Siege of Orgrimmar.
Mm-hmm. So the people who don't do normal can go into LFR or Flex and get the plants. Can you get them in LFR?
You know, I don't know.
Maybe just Flex. Otherwise, how would they be getting on the auction house? Because because they did this with this patch to where, like, the Sky Golem, like, randomly I found an item in the world that taught me new engineering things.
Oh yeah, I found the little journals.
Because I mean, oh god, he's gonna be so pissed at me. Kaladin, Dreochta, whatever you changed your name to.
Okay.
He's been making himself the pants.
Dryocha. Yeah, I think that's
he has a Dryocha.
That's dirty.
If you take it that way.
You know who you are.
But no, like, I know for damn sure that he hasn't raided Flex or normal. Like, I know he doesn't have time for that or allowance.
Oh, but he does have a pattern.
Yeah, and he has a pattern. He's made the legs and belt.
Oh, okay.
So I think the way they're doing it now is just in the open world, you find these things and they release it in the patch, so you have to be playing the current content.
Right.
Because I'm pretty positive that's how you do it right now. And so you don't even have to raid to get those things, but it's only 2 pieces. And I think, and I was just poking and prodding here, like, I completely agree that they should go back to some kind of specialization. I don't know if that's the exact answer, but I do believe that they need to make it worth creating armor again. Like, even, I know it's creating another tier and it's stats and all that kind of stuff, but say, like, right now, what is it, 540s are flex, right?
Yeah,
540s are flex, 528s are LFR.
Yeah.
Make a 520 that you can craft, a 520 set. Or 515 or 510, whatever. Actually, 510. Let's do 510 because that's what you get out of heroic scenarios.
516.
516.
I know. See, and that's the other thing I think needs to go. And they've simplified the way the raid structure is based. You know, the flex or LFR is still kind of stuck at its 25 man. Flex is like normal. You know, it can go 10 or 225 man. Mm-hmm. Heroic is now, oh man, I forget what. And then
heroic is 10 or 25, but they're going to.
It's like normal, and then mythic is a set 20. It's the only one that's
mystic or mythic.
I don't know. That's confusing. But I think that's the only one that's set. That and LFR are the only ones that are set numbers, but they only have 4 tiers of stuff. And I think I don't know what they're doing with heroic scenarios. I don't think we've seen anything on that. I haven't.
I don't expect. I mean, they just released a ton of new things that they're going to be doing.
Right.
So here's my solution to crafting. Pay attention, everyone. Just pay attention for a second. I have something very important to say. Everyone, look how good I look. No.
What? Okay.
So professions. This is how I think they should go about fixing this.
Tell me.
Just like how now they're releasing new things that you can craft as you explore the world currently as the patches go on. Release the same thing, but make it so that right now we're raiding Siege of Orgrimmar. Let me craft things that are just as good as normal mode Throne of Thunder, so I can make 502s. Or 502 LFR.
Right, or as each tier comes out, the previous tier becomes like they did that with PvP gear. It became craftable. I mean, you still had to learn it. It still took you a minute, but
quit giving us, what do you call those? Charity
welfare
epics.
Yeah.
Quit giving us that stuff. Make us craft, and the market will boom. Just quit. Timeless Isle is great. Like, give us that as an option. but make the time it takes to gather the mats to the time it takes to get an item from one of the mobs equal.
Yeah, equal difficulty.
So that you have it takes just as much time to go out and gather the mats to craft something that's worth your class, and then also you could go out and just kill stuff to get your stuff. I think that would probably be the best option for professions.
Yeah.
Next topic, done.
Done. Done.
Problem solved. And unless you're a woman, it is solved.
Yeah, I agree. Next topic, I actually want to talk about the removal of abilities.
All right.
I like it, especially for my own class. I'm a warrior. I saw the stuff they're taking out, and I said, fair enough. However, there's, I think in every class is going to have this. There's that one thing that I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. For me, it was they made Shattering Throw a glyph. So now if you want a PvP, you're pretty much losing a glyph slot.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid, but like I said, I have faith.
Well, what do you even use Shattering Throw for? It's just Paladin Bubbles, right?
And ice blocks.
Okay.
I mean, it's
two classes you're fighting against.
Few and far between, but better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Have you seen what your class is?
Yes. And as we had previously discussed, I don't want to go too far into it at this point.
Okay, without breaking down what you think is happening to your class, what do you think overall? Oh, not even just your class. I mean, because I've read a couple of the other ones, and I was like, that sucks. But I get it.
Well, some of the things, the thing that I noticed that I'm a little frustrated with, and I know that the whole thing is that they're taking a lot of bursting DPS out of the game. I understand because it affects healing and it'll affect PvP, and I think taking out bursting is awesome. However, they're making Avenging Wrath was where the Paladins pop their wings, is the only DPS cooldown that we'll have to manage. I didn't see anything about adding another spell or putting... and when I say that it's the only one, it's because they're removing Guardian of the Ancient Kings, which is where we summoned our homie, just like Death Knights summoned their little ghoul.
God, see, I think that is... I would rather them take away something else and let you keep that, because the cool factor, that dude coming out and just whacking on everybody...
Only Protection Paladins can have that right now.
So then you're going Protection?
I don't love my little bro that much. I mean, never mind.
Yeah, me too. Not your little bro, my little bro.
No, but yeah, so they're taking Guardian of the
root beer's
Ancient
good, dude.
Yep, I know.
Sarsaparilla.
I only had these last two.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anyways, carry on.
But so they're taking out Avenging Wrath. Or, I'm sorry, they're keeping Avenging Wrath on Retribution Paladins. For Holy Paladins, they're tooling the Avenging Wrath abilities, like the benefits of it, into Divine Favor. So
you're saying like who was I listening? It was the instance how he was saying, certain things gone, and then this spell gone, but now we're gonna call this spell that spell, and it's tied together.
Was it Serpent Sting is now Serpent Barrage?
Yeah,
they tied it into So that's how it's affecting Holy. Like Holy has a spell called Divine Favor already. And it does one thing. I don't know. I can't stand healing. It does one thing. They're now tacking on the Avenging Wrath tooltip on top of what the other spell already did. But they're removing it from Protection Paladins completely. Avenging Wrath is no longer on Holy or Retribution. So now it's only Protection. And I mean, it's in the title, Guardian of the Ancient Kings. So he's a guardian. He's protecting.
Okay.
It makes sense, and I'm trying to rationalize this. But at the same time, I'm a little frustrated that I now have one less cooldown to manage when I really didn't have any others. They are adding, and this is where I'm kind of a little hesitant, and I'm on the fence right now whether I'm okay with what the changes are. And I mean, I'm gonna have to play it and see how it goes. But they're adding an ability that takes 5 holy power. I only have.
I didn't know you had 5.
We have 5 total.
So you have rogue combo points.
Yeah, we have combo points. But typically, all of our spells costed 3 or less.
Okay.
But this one it's our level 100 talent, and it increases our damage for 30 seconds by some ridiculous amount. But it costs all 5 holy power to use. So there's another spell that I'm kind of looking at more of taking, but this one, it was interesting to me that they're actually making a spell that technically is another cooldown to help us burst. But I mean, you got to figure out. I mean, they made all the level 100 talents supposed to be even in current content.
Yeah, that's what I think they're trying to do. Is I think they're trying to make it fair, and I think without robbing from Peter to pay Paul, so to speak, they're trying to make it to where
I would never rob Peter. I like Peter.
they're trying to make it fair for everybody in a sense where nobody's going to tattle me. Oh, why does he get to do that and I can't? Because that's, I mean, if you look back and you
why does he get the DPS and a tank spec and I don't?
I know, right? It's going to be Pally's here in a minute.
A minute.
All right, already. But I remember the debuffs that were applied to people. People always cried out, well, what if we didn't bring that? And that the whole, bring the player, not the class. So damn near everybody got a specific type of debuff. Like the back in the day, warriors were the only ones that could apply the healing debuff. And then all of a sudden, everybody had it.
Yeah.
And I think there's...
Homonetization.
Homonetization. And I'm kind of happy that that's kind of going away, because I think they need to go back to the fairness of each class and
Shaman versus Paladin.
Yeah, like what's that game? Hearthstone. It's more they're less like okay, this guy, if he pops all of his cooldowns, I'm dead. Everybody cry. Oh, if a hunter were to do something, I'm dead. I can't fight that. Or if a rogue did this, I couldn't fight that. That's kind of going away. They're hoping that good players here will stand out and be able to overcome, and it'll still be fair. If you're good, you'll win. If you suck, you'll lose. And I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just general game mechanics.
Right.
I'm awesome. You suck. I win. You lose.
Right. I do want to read anything. If you guys, I want to know what you viewers think about your class. As far as the abilities, I want to know what you think they took out that they shouldn't have, or what they changed that they shouldn't have and should revert. One thing, don't get crazy and don't say, oh, the whole thing was just BS. Pick one thing that you think they did wrong or could kind of look over again, and go ahead and post that on our YouTube page. Just Another WoW Show.
Yep.
Anyways.
All right, so what do you got? What you got? What's your next topic?
I don't know. That was what I had. I don't know. I'm kind of disorganized right now.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
I just thought of this
right now.
No, I'm not that genius, that brilliant. I'm not smart. I started thinking about random battlegrounds, and I was sitting there and I was removing 2 of them. I'm like, I hate this one. I hate that one. What is that called? I cannot remember.
Blacklisting.
Blacklisting
dice when you
for
I think
dungeons.
It's dice. Oh yeah, I read about that, and they were doing a poll on was it Twitter?
MMOChampion.
MMOChampion. It's one of those. Anyways, what did you think? What is it?
I think everyone who wants blacklisting for dungeons needs to put their foot in their mouth because it's already in the game.
Oh yeah, if you specific queue.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
There's no bonus for it.
So you're gonna just queue up for the ones you want to do, and if you don't want to do the other ones, if you say they take too long, then the amount of time you're spending to get the bonus.
Aren't you limited though on on which the queue
You
is
can do each
faster.
one a day.
But if you did random, you can do them however many times you want.
You can do them multiple times, and that's one of the biggest complaints, that you queue up and you see the same one over and over and over.
That is true. I do, because I've been spamming them to actually. It's the fastest way to get honor.
What was that? Scarlet Monastery. You and I did Scarlet Monastery like 3 or 4 times in a row.
We capped out the amount of dungeons we could do in an hour because it was a 5-minute run.
Do they still have the cap?
Yeah.
You were group leader, so I didn't see the.
Oh yeah, no, you can't. You can only do 5 per hour.
Oh,
and
okay.
it resets when you get back to the beginning of
I
your
thought
first
they
one.
got away with that.
No, it's still there. At least it is when I go through. On all of them. I don't know if it's.
You know what? No,
everyone
because I was when I was doing my Molten Core timed challenge thing on my YouTube page, on my YouTube page, not the Just WoW.
Right.
Just Another WoW Show. I ended up going in there and I was resetting the instance so I could get Dark Iron, and I was seeing how long it would take me to run to the end and run all the way back to the entrance, because I could kill stuff as I walked because it's so low health.
Right.
I was running in and running out and running in and running out and just timing myself, and it locked me out because I had entered too many instances.
Right. And I think the reset. If you do your 5, and it depends on what you do, it resets within like 20 minutes, depending on how fast you did them. But
yeah,
so regardless, it's still.
I have blacklisting in there already. I don't know why we're crying so hard about it. I mean, yeah, it's, what is it, 60 bonus justice or something? 120
valor,
120 valor or 60 valor,
and then you certain ones will have a certain bonus. And I'm not sure exactly how that's applied. I mean, I'd pull it up, but my laptop's terrible.
And I just don't understand. Like, if you really don't want to do specific ones, then queue up specific. That's 50 or 60. It's 60 valor.
Well, right. I mean, and valor's almost useless now. I mean, except if you're upgrading gear. If you're like me and want to just spam the crap out of getting the justice points for honor,
to rotate them into honor, which is the fastest.
It
way
is.
you
It is.
mentioned a minute ago.
Especially if me and you go. I mean, we could 3-man most heroic dungeons.
If you have a good set of DPS and a good tank that's going quick, you don't even really need the healer there, because the DPS will kill the thing before it does enough damage.
No, I found out if you do, and it's kind of awesome. You do like for me, I put my DPS gear on, and then I just do a tank or a shield and a sword, and then make the healer go DPS and just off heal. And you kill stuff so fast it doesn't even do any damage. Yeah. Especially with the active mitigation, you just run through crap.
Yeah, and with the high item level, we can complete most heroics in like 8 minutes.
I would suggest like at least LFR, Siege of Ogmar, LFR or higher. And I think my guy's at like a 542 or something, 541. And you're at like a 5.9 million, Mr. Flicker.
Actually, I'm in normals now, man.
Whatever.
I'm actually about to start heroic modes. I cannot take credit for a lot of that, because every week I'm learning something new. Like, I don't know enough about all this stuff to be Mr. Epic. I'm a follower when it comes to heroic modes.
Yeah, no,
I don't have time.
I don't even want to put that time in.
It's a lot of time, I will say. It's a lot more time than I would like to be putting into it. But But the biggest thing about blacklisting, it's already in the game. You can choose the specific ones. I just don't understand what the uproar is about blacklisting 2.
I think it'd be nice. I think if they did, because there's only like 6 dungeons, make it blacklist 1. Just one. Just pick one. If you feel,
but that's such a small ratio. I mean, like, for PvP, like, I get it, because we've been doing the same PvP battlegrounds
forever.
Since vanilla.
Well, some people don't PvP and all they do is do dungeons.
Right. Some people, all they do is just PvP.
Right. So, I think blacklist. It could be a thing. I think that's what that poll was. If you could blacklist one, what would it be?
Here's why I don't agree with them blacklisting that. There's 6 dungeons. You blacklist one of them. How many hours of Blizzard's team did you just waste?
Same with the Battlegrounds.
But that's over 10 years. That's 10 years of content. They've made like 1 or 2 a year.
Okay. All right, so that's fair. So this could be a wake-up call for them then. if everybody wants to blacklist the same dungeon, they could be like, well, nobody liked that. Let's not do that again.
Yeah, and that could
be.
I don't think that they need to blacklist feature. I think they need to they just need to go to MMO and see what people clicked on when they voted on that thing to see. They didn't like this one because of this. And in all honesty, the one thing I'm passionate about this topic because I
can smell it.
Oh.
Okay, don't do that.
I know. I felt really weird when I did that. I couldn't think of a word to say.
Gave me the chills.
But the thing is with that whole thing.
Tangle, man.
So the blacklisting, so many hours of Blizzard's time would be wasted, and all they would have to do instead of blacklisting is just pay attention to MMOChampion's vote system and say like, oh, we don't want to do this one. Well, you know why people don't want to do that one right now? And I'm pretty sure the one that won on that was the Siege of Nyan.
Yeah. Oh, the one where the armies that you have to throw the amber.
You have to wait for the wave by wave by wave, and that the reason that people don't want to do that is because it takes so long. You have to wait for it to happen.
No, they made a change. They made a little.
They did.
They made it like
You can talk to a guy and he
sends the next wave.
Sends the next wave. Yeah.
So you can be like us and jump down and kill them before they come up.
They're resolving the issue of people not wanting to do something by paying attention to, like, we don't want to do this one. Okay, well.
So what you're saying is no blacklist feature, just better response on the community. They don't even have to go to MMOChampion. I'm pretty sure people are saying all over the place, hey, this sucks. Don't do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, people are really good about talking on the World of Warcraft forums at worldofwarcraft.com. They're really good about doing that.
And very vocal.
Very. Sometimes unproductively vocal. But
talking to you trolls. Keep it up. Dare you to come to my house.
But I just don't see the time it would take for them to implement this into that. And the loss of... I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me to remove one of 6 dungeons, or one of 8 dungeons I think there is. I think it's 8. Maybe more. Sure. I don't know. It's a handful. The amount of hours it takes to create the map, to create the bosses, to create the mechanics, and all that stuff, that's so many hours of gameplay, or so many hours of production that they're losing because we don't like that we have to sit for 2 minutes and wait for waves to come up. Like, they did the right thing by not adding blacklisting and by just fixing that one mechanic.
Right. Yeah, and that's fair. That's better than blacklisting. Kind of it will kind of do away with that uproar of, hey, I don't like this. Because you're right. That's the only one I would do is the Naizu Temple. Yeah,
that's the only one I don't like doing, just because of that wave.
You know what? If I could make like a preference and less like a if you. And no blacklist. If I click on something that says I don't want that and it never shows up, maybe more like, hey, I like these ones, and if those have a spot available, you're more likely to go into that one. Or the more people that choose those as a preference, you get faster queues. Hey, we want I know that's what specific is, but the fact that you can only do it once a day, if you do it that way, sucks. I don't want to do it once a day. If I want to chain a bunch of them, I want to chain these 3 or 4 and not those ones.
So do them specifically, and then once you're locked out of them, queue up for random.
But then I'll end up doing 4 of the one I don't like.
If you do them all, it's the same as having none of them done. Do them all once, and if you still have time.
But I don't want to do those ones I don't like. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And I know there's a chance when you go to random, and that's what I'm saying, is you can kind of eliminate that without saying that's impossible. You'll never do that one. If I click the button, it says, okay, no, you're blacklisted. You'll never go. I don't want that. I want to still be able to get into that one, have the chance to be like, well, screw it. I guess I'll have to do this one. But I just want it to be more likely to do the Scarlet Halls. I love the fact they're doing like throwback instances and saying, okay, it's upgraded now, it's in part of the new world. What are they doing next? Lower Blackrock Spire
challenge mode. Lower Blackrock Spire.
That's gonna be cool, dude.
That was my next point. Lower Blackrock Spire, if you remember a little while back, I was talking to my little brother the other day, and he was a big leveler throughout the entire game. Like, he's always leveled new tunes. He never sits with just one at max level. He got stuck, I think he said like 48 to like 58 or 60. I think it was 58. 48 to 58. Every time he queued up, it was Lower Blackrock Spire or one of those dungeons, Searing, all that stuff in Blackrock Mountain. He just every time he queued, it was just the same 2 dungeons over and over and over, and it drove him nuts. So when I told him, I was like, dude, they're making challenge modes of old content of Lower Blackrock Spire, and he's like, no.
Oh, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And I am too, because it's the precedence that they're setting by saying we'll make challenge modes for old content.
It's like what we were talking about last week about making old
Transmog.
raids. Yeah, like old transmog raids and like challenge mode raids.
The time is coming.
I have a feeling they're going to be doing something like that.
I think so too, and
because
and they're testing it right now. I think with Lower Blackrock Spire, because it's Blackrock Mountain, and if you saw the art content for War Chief Blackhand, oh my god,
he looks. I wish I could have his gear.
Him and Thrall's gear, it's so awesome. Like, if you put that up right now, I might get a little too excited.
Hold on, I'm about to look at these wolves. Oh god, they're cool.
And the elephants.
Elephants are stupid. Why the hell would I ride an elephant?
Oh,
pale orcs. What the hell are those?
Okay, there's a whole nother set of orcs that are coming out. They're like trolls, ogres, and orcs meshed together, and I think they're like underground orcs.
Dude, they look like Schmeagol.
Yeah,
that's what that guy looks like.
He looks like Schmeagol.
My precious. He's precious.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm horrible with
impressions
voices. And
aren't my thing.
Stuff. Yeah. Sorry.
If
you guys have a great one, send us a response. Hippos?
They have hippos.
All I want for Christmas. No, what was that?
I don't know. Oh, I know.
Hippopotamus for Christmas.
Yeah, hippopotamus. There you go.
It's my mom's favorite song.
Oh, well, now you can get her a.
I'll get her a 3D hippo.
This looks amazing.
Seriously, the graphics. Check it out. Go and look at the artwork for this stuff. It is freaking awesome. Where are the
totems?
Oh, look at the cutest pets. Miscellaneous. It's called miscellaneous cutest pet puppies ever.
What the hell is that?
That's not a dog.
That's like a three-headed plant.
It looks like Plants vs. Zombies, kind of.
I don't. That's stupid.
Okay, we can't keep talking
hold
about
on.
images.
They can't
see the images.
Oh man, we'll have to put a link.
Rookie mistake.
I know, we're freaking new guys. You know what we should do, and we were talking about this before the show started, is we want to make a Twitter account. Eric, you just made one.
I made my first one.
You made your first one. I haven't made one yet. I don't understand the hoopla. I mean,
all I know is that I subscribed to Celestialon, and I found out way more information than I would ever want to today. Like, so much content from just going to his Twitter. It was great. I think it's at Celestialon or Twitter at Celestialon. I don't know how the at thing works with Twitter yet. I'm an old man.
I have to interrupt here. Grom Hellscream makes Garrosh look like a bitch. Anyways, so I wanna make a Twitter, right? Twitter. Okay, a Twitter for the show. I think I'll have it up maybe by this week. I've got a bunch of background paperwork I have to fill out, but stuff for job stuff, police department stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were talking like wife release forms.
Career change.
My wife allows me to have a Twitter account.
Yeah, I got to do all that. Release forms. Yeah, God, no thanks. I wouldn't be here if I had to do that, would I?
Well, dude, so Trevor and I have been talking about doing something like this for a long time, and we just recently took the leap and made this show. And I'm pretty proud that we did this. I'm very excited. When we've talked about it for a while, and we've never really done the planning for it and really like dug into it.
So we're just kind of we just kind of started going at it.
Yeah, we have a lot of
there's
things.
No pun there. We just kind of dove right in. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't like that either. Stop that. This could get filthy. Anyways,
I'm totally off topic now.
yeah. What
War Chief Blackhand, challenge modes, Black Rock Mountain. The reason they brought this, I'm slowly looping you guys and myself back into this because I got way off track.
I'm in left field, and you guys, good luck reeling me back in.
War Chief Blackhand is one of the 7. He was the original War Chief. So when in the story, in the lore, and if you haven't heard this yet,
neck's on fire.
If you haven't heard this yet, then I don't know why you're listening to a podcast about World of Warcraft. So Garrosh goes back in time to another dimension. I'm sorry, he goes to another dimension and then goes back in time in that dimension. And in that dimension, he goes back to before the orcs drink the blood of Manaroth, before they become corrupted. And Garrosh, for those who don't know, is completely anti-demon. If you're running Siege of Orgrimmar right now, and you're running after you free, what's his name? The guy that everyone used to beat on. The orc.
Gammon. No, they didn't.
Gammon.
They used him to raid their own.
Yeah.
Or no, the
so once
used him.
You release him and you go down into that cave. For those of you who have never had a warlock or a mage portal or anything like that. Most everyone has been down there, but that area is for the warlocks. If you start looking up at the ceiling, there's some hung warlocks, and that's not dirty whatsoever.
They're dead.
They are dead. They rope around their neck. Garrosh hung them all. And if you look, and that's why, if you're not in the raid and you just go to Orgrimmar, there's Korkron cornering the warlocks.
Yeah.
If you go into the raid, they're hung. They're dead. And the last-ditch effort, one of the warlocks summoned that demon that's being fought down there. He summoned him to kind of like as a last-ditch effort to survive, and then he got killed, and the demon's just going loose.
Wait, what demon's that? Which one?
When you go down in the tunnel,
right.
there's a giant demon there, like a dreadlord, that there's a couple Korkron or something fighting it.
Oh, is that the one where everybody just jumps down?
And everyone just skips it and jumps it.
But you can go and fight that thing?
Yeah, you're supposed to if you want Gammon to come and help you with the fight and get the achievement.
Oh, well, why does nobody ever do that?
Because it's one more fight they don't want to do.
Oh, and it's LFR, so you can't get the achievement. Even if
True,
you did
yeah, LFR you can't get the achievement.
So there's
it's
no
flexing up, but yeah, I mean it's so
basically if you want to carry me through your raid and let me experience it, let me know.
If you want to go ahead and go see, Garrosh goes to another dimension, goes back in time, and he brings his hatred for the warlocks with him. Like, he does not like the demonic arts whatsoever. He tells everyone Gul'dan is the warlock guy. He's the demon guy. Don't trust him. And that's just something we all need to really take away from this is you never trust Gul'dan. He always is just looking out for himself. He's always looking to gain more power somehow, and he will sacrifice anyone and everyone to do so. So the one in the Shadow Moon Valley is where Gul'dan is with his clan. And he's trying to gain the trust of Garrosh and the 7 other, or is it the 6 other major orc clan leaders, I guess.
Warlords, maybe?
Warlords. Oh my god, you just blew my mind. Mind blown. The other 6 warlords, he's trying to find some way for them to trust him, but Garrosh is like, nope. He wanted you guys to drink this demon blood, and you guys are going to become corrupted, and you guys just don't want to do that. What? Whoa!
Easy, Turbo. Keep talking.
So he's like, don't trust him or anything like that. So in Warlords, when we get there, the reason why you don't see any green orcs on the front of that screen is because none of them
drank the blood
of Manaroth, because the green is their demonic power infested. Now, if you've also seen the red orcs, which like Garash Hellscream, the current war chief of the Horde in our dimension, he's brown. He's not red. He is brown because he never drank the blood of Manroth.
Because he had orc pox or some stupid crap.
He had chicken pox.
He was a puss cake.
I don't remember what they're called, blood pox or something. But either ways, they couldn't. He didn't drink the blood, so he stayed brown. Brown orcs are the pure, natural orcs. Green orcs are the ones that are infested with demonic power, demonic blood, and then the red orcs are fell power. They've been imbued with power from fell. I don't know, fell power, fell blood, fell something, fell,
Okay.
fell. So the red ones, like when you fight in like Hellfire Ramparts, when you first get into Hellfire Peninsula, when you go into Burning Crusade,
Okay.
those are all the fell orcs. So you shouldn't see any of those in Warlords of Draenor either. And that's your orc history of the month.
I'm lost now. I guess I'm gonna have to read up on it. Got to do some of my own homework. What else did we have today?
The pale orcs is how we got off into that topic.
Oh, I know.
The pale orcs, they're Smeagol.
I might have nightmares because of that. I just might.
Maybe.
What else were we gonna talk about today? Slow
Glyphs.
Glyphs. That's right. Glyphs.
So as you level, your classes will now obtain specific important glyphs so that you don't have to go purchase them. This goes back into the topic of professions that we were talking about earlier.
There's actually a lot, and not just about glyphs, but talents in general, and just that whole the way everything's. Glyphs are talents. I think they're more like cosmetic or to change the way certain abilities work. So like, okay, this can be a ranged ability and you can do it more often, or your fear makes a guy stand there instead of run away, or that's kind of what glyphs do, you know. But it's more like the old school talent trees. There's just a lot more involved, and that's kind of all they're doing. I think they could make glyphs less like boosting your power, or I think it should be cosmetic stuff.
So everything should be a minor glyph.
And well, I mean, there should be some major glyphs. I mean, there should be more things that aren't cookie cutter, because you can go right now, and I mean, there's glyphs that you have that you pretty much still have to have, and I think that's stupid. Just throw those away. Bake that in, because if everybody's gonna have it anyways, why make that?
I agree.
You know. And then there's glyphs that like are situational. Like, I think they should all be like that. They should all be like, okay, in this fight there's more range. So if I'm melee and I have a glyph that makes this ability more range and I can use it more often, I'm gonna glyph to that. So I'm not completely useless sitting back behind the raid. Or vice versa. If I'm gonna be moving a lot, I want to get a glyph that allows me to use this spell while moving. I think that's how the glyphs should be. And I also think that the stuff that is constantly used should either be baked in, or they need to add a fourth column to the talents. And I don't know why I've never.
Simple but brilliant.
It's brilliant, mind blown. I think that it is very simple. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the choices. I mean, I've realized on all my characters, I go through and I'm like, well, that one is just stupid. Why would I use that? So there's one out automatically, And it's damn near the case with almost all my characters. At least 3 of the tiers is like, that's useless, because I don't, as what I do as a warrior, hunter, rogue, or warlock, whatever. I'm not going to use that as this spec. Now, if I was this spec, I would, but I don't play that, so why would I use it? So why not add in a fourth tree and kind of take some of the stuff you're taking out, maybe twist it up and put it back in? like, okay, last week I talked about, for those of you who saw episode 1, I talked about making Heroic Leap a targetable.
Mm-hmm.
Why not make that a part of tier 1 on Warriors, their mobility tier? You know, take it and say, hey, it's now targetable. Or you Heroic Leap to your target and not to your...
I definitely think that your fourth column thing is something that's amazing. Like, I think it's a great idea that it's a very simple solution. And
Right.
it may... And here's the thing. I don't believe every row needs to have a fourth option. I think if they, like, said... I mean, it won't look perfect. Like, it won't look uniform. But you don't need a fourth option in every row. Like, if they've already perfected movement for a certain class, just be like... And I know people are going to cry. I don't think Blizzard would actually ever do this. But if movement on a paladin is already perfect, because we can move by bursting, by triggering it with judgment, or by consistently having it and it modified by how much holy power we have, that's 3 sufficient ways to boost your speed. I don't need another one. Warriors, though, they need another one, because you guys have double charge, you have Warbringer.
Right. Well, no, we don't need it. I'm just another option. And my eye itches. Just another option.
Was little baby tired?
I'm getting sleepy. No, I want more options. I want to be able to look at my talent tier and be like, wow, I can do this or I can do that. I don't really
You can do with this. You can do with that.
I don't want my talents to be situational. I want to
Come
be able
on.
I know what you're talking about, but I'm on topic for once.
Sorry, I'm trying to pick you off.
Not happening. Oh crap! You did it.
Yes.
I want my talents to be set. I don't want my talents to be. I want my glyphs to be the situational ones, because there's less. And maybe my major glyphs. You know, maybe make 3 options. Kind of. You know, I don't want to have to go in and be like, okay, this fight's different. I need to make sure I take 40 of my little things that take crap away and change my talents and my glyphs in the middle of a raid. I want to set my talents up, and I want to be like, look, I like to charge twice, or I like to leap, and I like to, I like to spin around like a dork and just hit everything because I'm lazy for 6 seconds, or, I want to be able to. I don't want them to be situational. I just want it to be a preference. That's what I like. That's what I want to do. Adding a 4th tier and splitting things up a little bit and making them more of an option. Make them all do the same amount of damage. It's easy. It's math. Work it out.
Yeah.
Who cares which one's DPS? If I want, like, one of mine is that avatar thing. If I want to look all big ass, and that's cool. I want to do that. I don't want that to hinder me in a certain fight because this other thing in that same tier is better. Yeah. It shouldn't be like that. It should all be just play style.
It definitely, like, I can completely understand why it's difficult to balance all these 3 different things, because if you have one that you use avatar, and I don't know it, I don't really know the tooltip on it, but I'm just going to assume that using avatar increases your attack power because you grow in size. So I'm just going to assume that.
Yeah, no, I think it just does just damage in general. It's like all damage.
Okay.
I don't really use
it
because it sucks.
When you're trying to balance that out, like, oh, this does this much more attack power now because you went to avatar state. Oh, but you could also do, I don't know, what's the other option?
Bloodbath. Or Stormbolt. Which is it's going away. It's switching. It's kind of wonky.
Okay, but like, so Stormbolt is another stun,
right?
And it does X amount of damage,
right? Unless
then Bloodbath, it just increases your.
No, it takes a percentage of the damage you've done, and turns it into a bleed over a certain amount of time, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay, but my point before we get off topic is just how different is each one of those styles.
They're all very different from each other.
Yeah,
but
so balancing them all out, though, like, I can understand why that would be difficult, because that's 3 different equations and they all have to equal X.
No, I don't think it'd be that hard. It's algebra, right? I mean,
yeah,
okay,
well, but still, so you do that constantly with every change you make, to where if Avatar increases your attack power, then you have to go, okay, well, avatar increasing with your attack power, your item level scaling to this, and if you use this trinket that we forgot about that gives you 5,000.
Right, so there is a lot of variables. Why not just say increase the damage you do?
Yeah.
I mean, and I know
yeah.
they base that. There's formulas, and I'm not one of those math guys who like everything's got a formula. Of course, a freaking video game, but I don't really care to get into that. Make it simple for me. This does 20% damage. It does the same amount of damage, just does it differently. You know, this turns you into a big old beast. This does it over 6 seconds. You know, what do you like? You like dots? You like, you know, okay, so you put a dot on the guy because you can't hit him for 5-6 seconds. So you pop that then, and you're still taking damage. You know what I'm saying? It's however you like to play.
Yeah,
and that's how I think talent should be.
Yeah, I think talent's definitely like it should be. Do you want to spin in circles? Do you want a shockwave? Do you want a dragon roar? Like that's a perfect thing to me. Like, do you want to spin roar and then like everything like gets scared and jumps away from you? Do you want to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna grab the handle of this axe and spin, or do you want to just be like stop moving and just shockwave them? Like, which play style works for you? And that's how I want talents to be.
Yeah,
I agree. Now glyphs, completely agree. Cosmetic. Make it look cooler. Like don't make it something mandatory that I have to have. But change up something to like turn evil for paladins. Completely understand when you glyph it, it fears somebody. Or no, that's actually a talent. That's a talent. My bad. But my whole point is that like the minor glyph feature of glyphs is awesome. It's cool. It's fun. When it comes into a profession standpoint, though, from the professionist,
yeah,
professionist.
He's a
We're going with it. We're going with it. From the profession standpoint, offering players free glyphs does not make sense as a business model. It's taking away some of the inventory for inscriptionists.
Well, not only that, but it's basically saying, hey, these are the important ones, so it makes everybody think, well, if this one's the free one, that's what I'm going to use. Why would I use anything else? It takes away from the customization.
Exactly.
You know?
I read some of the ones that like paladins get and stuff, and some of them are just flavor. They're not really that important.
Well, I mean, but like...
I think it's just to give people a taste, because in all honesty, until my character gets 90, I don't consider glyphs an interest.
Well, I don't either, and I think they're kind of catering to that is the people that are new and just don't know they don't have the 500 gold for some of these glyphs to go and just buy it, you know, or don't have any friends that can make it for them, so they just say screw it, and then they get to 90, make the gold, they turn around and they look on, you know, Icy Veins or Noxic, and they say, okay, well, these are the ones they say I should use, so I'll go buy those and use them, and then it's never changed, never customized, never anything. And then now I think by Blizzard taking and putting in, you know, okay, these glyphs, these are freebies, you know, they're not the best ones, or, you know, I think one of them is one I'd actually use. And they're just, you know, hey, these are kind of like a starter glyph, like a starter deck on your Hearthstone, and excuse me, it's gonna make these players be like, okay, well, this one was given to me, I'm just gonna put that in there and just go with it, whatever. It obviously wasn't that big of a deal to begin with, so why do I care now? And I mean, I know players that just don't even use glyphs.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like, I don't care. I'm not spending the gold. Or I'm a PvPer and there's like really no way to make gold.
This is the conclusion of everything that we've talked about with professions. Blizzard, get to work. Like, you guys have some stuff to do. You guys have to retool it. You guys have to make professions worth it again.
Make it fun.
Because right now, with you guys taking away the battle benefits of professions, you're making it to where no one has any interest. I've talked to multiple people now that the only reason that they leveled that stuff is to either avoid gemming, which I've heard gemming's going away.
A little bit. I mean, I think they're
removing
hit there.
Because I use gems to get hit capped.
Well, no. The a chance that a piece of gear has a gem slot is like another extra roll on top of the secondary
so they're
and
reducing the
tertiary
amount
stats.
of gems that are needed.
Right, but
Okay.
I'm assuming these gems are going to be more powerful, and in there, so you're not going to be breaking the bank when you need to go buy a gem.
So supply and demand issues.
I don't think so. I mean, I think there's
so.
going to be hefty supply and not a lot lot of demand, which I
Yeah.
think is going to kill prices.
How easy is it to go make a bunch of gems? Like if you're a jewel
Right now?
crafter, as
Oh.
a jewel crafter.
Oh yeah, I could crank out every gem and make friggin' 30 of each and go flood the auction house and kill the market. But I mean that's
And if you're reducing the amount of slots, there's not
Right.
much demand anymore because
Exactly.
they only need 2.
right. Unless they want to
So
play around with stuff.
The summary of everything about professions.
Get to work.
Yeah,
Work on it.
you gotta.
Or
I don't
show
even
me.
have an.
Show maybe they are working on it. And,
Oh, I'm sure they are. They're always working on everything.
Well, right. I mean, clearly the friggin' huge page of everything they're doing just kind of blew me away, and I just saw that. I mean, right live here on the show. But
I've never been so happy for homework. All that was
Man,
just homework for me. It was
I've
just
got
reading.
too much to do now. I've got wait. I'm gonna be tired.
I am bone tired right now. I am exhausted from all this information plus everything
right.
else going on.
All right, fellow WoW nerds. While we have to wrap up the show here, we're kind of getting a little lengthy. My fellow WoW dorks out there, do us some homework. Go through MMOChampion, World of Warcraft's website, their forums, any other source you Wowhead, whatever you guys come up, and kind of break it down for us. I mean, for me, I'll check your
Me
comments on YouTube. Again, subscribe to our channel, Just Another WoW Show. That's on YouTube. Email us with any questions you have. We didn't really answer any this week. There's just too much going on. And we really, I think we had 1 or 2. I mean, it's show number 2. Give me a break. All right.
I had a handful, but all of them were covered within what we talked
within our
about.
topics. Our email is JustAnotherWoWShow@gmail.com. You can also subscribe to us on Twitch. We're still working on getting the live stream set up. The Twitch channel is its_Jaws at twitch.tv. Subscribe to that as well. We're going to try our best to get that set up. We're probably going to be doing some testing here this week to see if we can get it ready and going. Also, we're going to try to get up some Twitter accounts. So we'll put that out on our YouTube channel during this week if we can get it set up. If not, we'll definitely have it for you guys next week. And also, we do want to try to get a Skype caller, right? That's the thing we want to do.
That's a thing.
If you guys would like to be on the show live and like to talk to us, you're going to be on with all the viewers.
We'll try and put your face like right here.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? I don't know.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, but what if it's an ugly person?
Well, that's just a little shallow of you.
They'd fit in. This guy. So yeah, if you guys want to be a part of our show, we'll have you on. Ask a question, hang out with us for however long we want you to, or however long you can handle this. Go ahead and email us JustAnotherWoWShow@gmail.com, and we'll have you guys on.
Thank you.
Anything else you wanted to add?
No,
No?
I'm good. I think my brain's a little fried right now from everything we just went over.
Yeah, it's dark outside. A late show.
It was a very late show. Next week, we're going to get better about starting this on time because when we start Twitch,
We're gonna have to.
we're going to have to find a time that works for us and works for you guys, most importantly. So thank you again for checking us out. Just Another WoW Show. Jaws.
See ya.